This video will show you how to make throw pillows. We're going to be using Sunbrella furniture fabric and pillow forms from Sailrite. This style of pillow will have boxed corners. You can see it here in the video. Let's get started and show you how.
Okay, now we're going to make another pillow here with a little bit of a squared corner on it. And the fabric we have has got a stripe in it, and in the stripes most of the time there is a repeat, which means, as you can see, say a section of the fabric, this has got the brown, tan, gold, blue, gold, tan, brown. So that section there repeats itself again here. So you want to make sure that that falls in the same spot if you want it to continue over a pillow. We have a 20 by 20 pillow form that we're going to be covering, which is cut by a 19 by 19.
Deb's working on a 20 by 20 inch pillow form. If you have other size pillow forms, use this chart to calculate how to cut each one of your fabric blanks.
And so what we're going to want to do is take half of the 19, which would be 9.5. You want to make sure if we're going to use this stripe here as a repeat, we want our 9.5 mark to fall right in the center of this stripe.
It's a good idea to square off any cut edges and any selvage.
Okay, we have our mark here.
Since this fabric is a striped fabric, we're placing the mark in the center of our 19-inch measurement. We'll obviously cut a 19-inch by 19-inch square for this pillow form. This is for a 20-inch by 20-inch pillow form. This throw pillow accommodates boxed corners, so at each one of the 4 corners we're cutting out a square of fabric. Deb's measuring down 1 inch and over 1 inch, so that there'll be a 1-inch boxed corner. Deb's creating a 1-inch boxed corner, however the sky's the limit. If you want to go bigger, feel free. This 1-inch square will go at each one of the 4 corners.
Okay, what we're doing here is just going to create kind of a flat corner on the pillow form covers. So what we'll end up with is you'll be taking a 1/2-inch seam all the way around this pillow. But first we're going to put corners in, cut these out, and we're going to be taking a 1/2-inch seam, which is going to be half of this area. So really you're not going to end up with a whole very big flat spot at all. You'll only end up with an inch when we're finished with an inch corner flat. But it helps bring the pillow in and gives it a different look. So we got this panel, and as I said before, we have our center marked with this. So what we're going to want to do is for our other sides to just flow with this stripe into it. If you don't have enough fabric to extend for your length, then you have to take and cut another one. Then you want to be sure and center this in the same style of stripe as on the other side.
To cut your pillow form, it's a good idea to use a hot knife which seals the edge of the fabric to keep it from unraveling. If you don't have a hot knife, you could use a wood burning tool, soldering gun, or you could use pinking shears if you have those.
Okay, so with our centers here, in this striping in the center, we find the other center that matches this one, and then you apply it right on top. And as you can see, line it up at this side. All your stripes are lining up, and on this side.
After you cut your first panel out, you can cut your second panel out using this as a template.
Okay, now here are our pieces, and you can see that our stripes are going to match up when we sew the seams together. It'll actually be this way. We'll put them on top, and we'll sew our 1/2-inch seam, 1/2-inch seam, 1/2-inch seam. And then at the bottom we're just going to want to go in about 2 inches and then back tack. Then we'll go back and sew our corners shut. Okay, our lines are going to run vertical. So we're going to go ahead and sew the top across first. That way you can check to make sure that your stripes are matching when you're sewing it across as you go. So we want to take our 1/2-inch seam, and we're just going to forget about our cutout for right now.
Notice that Deb goes back a little ways and holds the material with her fingers to make sure that the stripes are lined up.
Here. seam up the side. Be sure and backstitch.
You'll do that same procedure to the opposite side. Then we'll work on the bottom for the insertion of the pillow
Okay,
form.
and then on your bottom, like I said, you want to come in about 2 inches in and backstitch. Your half-inch seam, backstitch, come up about 2 inches, backstitch. You want to do it the same on this corner.
This is the opposite corner of the bottom side of the pillow.
Backstitch, about 2 inches, backstitch. Okay, we have our two pieces, but we have our corners that are not sewn together yet. So we have a square corner on all 4 corners. And all you want to do here is just pull these apart. You have your top seam and your side seam. And then you want to pull these apart. And you just kind of feel. You want to flip one seam one way, this seam the other way. That way it'll lay flatter for you. And just line those seams up at the top. And we're only going to take a half-inch seam. So you can kind of feel inside that the seam on the opposite side. You just want to kind of hold that straight. And you can see how the fabric straightens off. And we're going to come up here and we're going to sew a half-inch across, back staying on both sides. Make sure you back stitch. Make your half-inch there. When you pull it apart, you can kind of see the little square corner that's going to make when we turn it. Okay, now we're flipping our seam so that it lays flatter. So when you go to your next corner, you want to follow that seam and see which direction it's flipped. So you want to make sure that this corner it's flipped the same direction. That way you don't end up with twisted seams on the inside. Just makes it lay a bit nicer.
You'll do this with all 4 corners.
And just take your half-inch seam again.
When all 4 corners are sewn, turn the cover right side out. We've done that
And
here.
what I'm doing now is creasing my half-inch for the bottom. Once I get the pillow form in so that we can stuff it. And you see how this corner is squared?
Now it's time to insert your pillow form.
When I get it done in
Make
there.
sure you push the corners of the pillow form into the corners of your pillow cover. Once it's inside, take it to the sewing machine and sew the opening shut. Create a half-inch hem and carefully sew it so that the hem is fairly consistent and matched up with the opposite side of the pillow cover. The stitch should be approximately an 1/8 inch from the edge of the fabric. Very close. When you get to the end, reverse it. We didn't show that. Here it is, finished. And here's what that corner looks like for the boxed corner. That's a 1-inch box corner. If you want to go larger, you may. As you can see, making a throw pillow from Sunbrella furniture fabric is easy, and they result in gorgeous throw pillows. Order your pillow forms and Sunbrella furniture fabric from Saorite today, and do it yourself. Check out our other videos showing how to make a standard throw pillow pillows with piping, and throw pillows with a zipper opening. I'm Eric Grant with Saorite. Thanks for watching this video. Bye-bye.